Good evening, everybody. I'm Tim Cole along with Bob Hintz, and we welcome you to Darling Stadium for tonight's contest between the Kecoughtan Warriors, 1-0, and the Phoebus Phantoms, the reigning state champions, also 1-0. And Bob, this game matches two teams who have been waiting for this Monday night clash because of the weather over the weekend. But these two teams are really at the top of the Peninsula District right now, and they should be two of the best teams at the end of the season.
Well, and you know, it's really it's bad that one of them is not a Division VI, because then we could have two teams possibly make it to the state championship. Phoebus, you know, they're reloading. They come up with a young man at quarterback who is a freshman, has just done an outstanding job. Aaron Ward, Tim, I watched him a couple games. He really has a nice arm. And, of course, you got a guy by the name of Elon Lewis who is unbelievable. Now, understand this. He could take you, me, and Bob Killen, and he could knee bend us and right back up over 700 pounds this young man does on the squat. So, you know, he's very strong, very dedicated, and he leads by example.
Well, this early season matchup, of course, being played on Monday night, as most of you know, the weather on Friday caused the Peninsula District to reschedule most of their games. But this game does pit two teams who are unscored on, undefeated, and early part of the season, you really can't ask for a better matchup than this.
No, you really can't. And if you go back 2 years ago, Bill D said the team that played him the toughest the first year they won the state championship was Kecoughtan, and they were like 2-9 or something like that, or 2-8 or something. Really had a horrendous year, but they really played good together. And Tommy Austin has done a good job of turning them around. Last year, 8-2. And normally that's going to get you in the playoffs, but not when you have teams that are undefeated. You know, that really hurts you. But last year they played them 10-7 and 17-10, I think it was. You have games that close. This is a toss-up. The field is very wet. I walked out there, Tim, and if you're playing golf, you could not find a lie that is not water standing. It is really that bad out there.
Well, both teams will have to play on the same field, so that will be the great equalizer, of course. Right now, we're going to go back in time. Bob had a chance to talk to head coach Bill D a little earlier, the head coach of the Phoebus Phantoms.
First of all, congratulations on a fine season last year, winning the second state championship. Kind of makes you a marked team, but that's a good place to be in.
Well, you know, it wouldn't give that up for anything in the world. You know, winning back-to-backs was a great adventure. Now we're into a new season, and got a great group of kids to work with, and, you know, big game right here in the district, first district game.
Well, I know hitting Kecoughtan at the beginning, you played your tough 2 games last year. But, Bill, I have to be really amazed at this freshman quarterback you got. He really shows a lot of poise for being a freshman.
Well, he's got a lot of tools. He's a good kid. He's got a lot to learn, but he's got a lot of God-given ability, and he's got a certain confidence about himself. And you know, I think he's got some real leadership skills, and I hope his best games are ahead of him.
Well, I hope so, too, but I know you got a young man that runs that ball, Elon Lewis, and you've got to really be proud of him. He's really a hard worker, off-season, into the weight room, right. And it leads by example, doesn't he?
Yeah, Elon's a very hard worker. Doesn't sit on his laurels, works hard, practices hard, and, you know, is playing some defense this year out of necessity. And so, you know, a lot of good things for him in the future.
Okay, and one other thing, what do you expect of Kecoughtan? Now, I know they changed the defense a little bit, but that's because of personnel. And what do you expect from them?
Well, you know, you never know. I'm sure they got a few wrinkles in. You know, they want to run the football, but McMillan threw the ball last week. They threw 3 touchdown passes, I believe, last week, so they're throwing the ball a lot, and they did in their scrimmages also. So, I think they're going to be a little bit more balanced, and but I think Tommy's like me. He likes to run the ball.
Yeah, this field tonight kind of will make you run it a little bit, but you need to be a mudder, as they used to say in horse racing, because it's a little soft out there.
It's a little soggy, but, you know, I'll tell you, when you play enough, you play in all sorts of weather, so you got to be able to tell them you got to play in the heat and in the cold and the mud and whatever every week. That's why it's a great game.
Good enough. Well, listen, good luck to you tonight, Bill.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right, let's go up to Tim.
All right, thank you, Bill D, for those interesting words. And Bill didn't get real close to his razor this morning. I noticed.
Well, he never shaves after Thursday, and of course this is Monday, so he's looking a little bit like you. But You know, I talked to Bill D, you know, and he's got some good leaders on that team. Anthony Robinson, who was a freshman last year and is a tremendous young man who plays real good defense and is, of course, the center in offense. And then Dustin Johnson, along with Lewis, is also a good leader on the team. And you've got to have good leadership, and especially after you've won the state championship and you lose people like DJ Parker and DB and Brown, just to name a few.
Those are some real big shoes to replace. They've gone on, and most of those guys are going to be playing college level. So certainly DB is, and I think DJ Parker as well.
Right.
So, yeah, those are, and that's difficult because here Bill is going to be trying to three-peat. And it's hard enough to win one, let alone 3 in a row. But we'll see tonight what the team looks like. But you had a chance to talk. Go ahead.
Yeah, before we get to my interview with Coach Austin, there was 2 players that I wanted to speak about with him. A young man by the name of Alan Weiss, first year playing organized football. He's starting at fullback. And then a young man by the name of Carl Craighead. This is the first year he's played since rec league. So he's got a lot of young guys out there that are young and experience-wise. You look at the roster, he's got a lot of juniors and seniors, but there's a lot of sophomores on that team too.
All right, we're going to have an opportunity now to go back in time. Bob had a chance a little earlier to talk to the head coach of the Kecoughtan Warriors, head coach Tommy Austin.
Well, first of all, Coach, congratulations. You've done a tremendous job turning this program around in 2 years. And I know I'm not the only one that says this, but it starts with the leadership. And I know you got some good coaches and some good kids, but it goes in, you know, if you do bad, it's just too.
Right. Well, you know, it's one of those situations where, like the quarterback, gets way too much credit when things go good, and way too much blame when things go bad.
Right.
But, you know, it does help to have good people around you. And we're fortunate. We've got good administrative support, and we've got good coaches and good kids. And, you know, they work real hard at what we do, and they've bought into what we do. And I think that makes a big difference.
Well, now, your first half last week looked a little bit shaky, and then all of a sudden, boom, it looks like you turned the page and everybody's on the same page, and you really started playing real well the second half.
We've got a lot of young people out there. I mean, we were returning 3 starters on both sides of the ball. And, you know, the kids had played together in 2 scrimmages, but we hadn't played well in either one. And so, you know, kind of feeling your way along a little bit to see what's going to work and what's not going to work. And, you know, I think our leadership among the team kind of stepped up a little bit after the half and said, hey, you know, this is the way we're going to play, and you're going to follow along with us.
Well, that's good. It's nice to have that kind of leadership on the team. Now, I know that a lot of people not sure know this, but this is on a Monday night. Field is wet. It's really soggy. So you really have, if you run, you got to have a kid that doesn't mind running in the mud.
Right. Well, you got to have some mutters, and you know, we're a running back by committee type situation, and you know, we'll just see who's having the best night as far as who can keep their feet on the ground and who can get some positive yards for us.
Now, you know, I don't want to not talk about the rest of the team, but McMillan, 3 touchdown passes last week?
2. Had 1 running and 2 throwing.
Okay, so, you know, this young man is not one that you can forget about the pass.
Right, well, and one of the reasons that he's playing quarterback for us is because he brings that added dimension. He can run, he can throw on the run. He's not very big, you know, so we try not to let him take too much of a beating, but the fact that he can do a number of different things, he makes people miss. You know, he does have a good arm. I mean, he's not going to wing it 70 yards down the field, but we don't have anybody who can run that far.
Okay. I'm not too sure about that, Coach. But one thing, you jump right out. Second game of the season, you played as the defending state champion. And last year you played Phoebus really, really tough. I mean, there was money, I think, 30-some points scored in both games.
I think it was 13-6 and 10-7.
Right. So, you know, this is always a good contest.
Well, it's a good rivalry. The kids know each other. They live close together. You know, the schools are right down the street from each other. You know, fortunately, I think it's a good rivalry. It's not one of those nasty rivalries. You know, there are some of those out there, not necessarily in this district, but, you know, our kids get along. It's a hard-fought, you know, I think highly disciplined situation where they're going to go out there and play hard against each other and then shake each other's hand when it's over.
Well, that's good. Well, good luck to you tonight, Coach.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right, let's go upstairs and we'll have tonight's starting lineups.
Tonight's contest brought to you by Zooms with 14 convenient locations to serve you. By Hampton Chevrolet at 1020 West Mercury Boulevard in Hampton. And in part by Park Lawn Wood Funeral Home, where Nancy Staten is the manager. The Kecoughtan Warriors have taken the field, and the Phoebus Phantoms, Bob, are about set to come on the field as well. And we're going to have the starting lineups for both squads in just one moment.
Right, and Tim, I'm going to tell you a little bit about Kecoughtan. They've changed their defense a little bit. They have a little bit of different personnel this year. They're a little quicker, a little speedier, but they're a little smaller. You know, last year they had some real big kids on the line, both Corey Davises. If you remember, those two young men were both 300-pound plus. But they've changed to a 4-3, which gives them a little more versatility. They will run their their linebackers. They'll jump in the gaps. They'll shoot the linebackers. So, you know, we look for them to give just a little different look to Phoebus Phantoms. Of course, Phoebus is not going to be surprised with this because they've seen the first game with Nazarene River, and, of course, they've very familiar with both teams. On the other side, Phoebus, you know, boy, they have been working together good, and their work ethic is just unbelievable. And as Aaron Ward, the freshman, is getting more comfortable at his position, and this is what Bill D wants. And he said by just making the adjustments of losing some great athletes like a D.B. Brown, a Bowles, and just to name a few young men that, I mean, he lost them on both sides of the ball. And here we come up with officials, Tim.
All right, the guys in the stripes tonight. The referee is Carter Ficklin. The umpire will be Chris Owens. The linesman is Herb Cook. Jim Mayhew will be the line judge. The field judge will be Craig Moore. Chip McErlin is your back judge, and Tim Ewing will be the clock operator for tonight's contest. This game videotaped on the 15th of September, 2003. Seems like it was only about a year ago we were doing the same thing, Bob.
It seemed like about a year ago. To tell you, I was able to do a program this year with Mick McCullough, who is the commissioner of the Referees Association on the Peninsula, and Bill Dozier, who is the rules interpreter. And Mike Nowinski is getting that all together, and we should be able to show that in the next couple of weeks. But there's a couple of rule changes, and maybe we'll see them and maybe not. I've got the rule changes here, Tim. I'll just let you look at them.
Let's go down to the field and the toss of the coin tonight. All right, I'm not sure we were able to pick up the audio from referee Ficklin. In any event, the co-captains are out on the field representing their squads, and we'll have the decision who will receive the ball. The weather tonight is humid. It's not particularly warm, but it's very, very still and sticky. So these young men will be tested by the weather conditions, at least from that factor. It's certainly not a very comfortable evening, although we appear to have dodged additional rain. It did rain, as you already mentioned, a lot, and the field is soaked, but it has drained as well as it possibly could, considering all the factors. The field is in great shape otherwise, but it is very soggy, and that could be a factor tonight before all is said and done.
won the toss, Tim, but decided to defer to the second half, so that means that the Phantoms will get the ball to begin with.
All right, so we'll be able to show you those starting lineups in just one moment.
Talk a little bit about that crew. I got somebody down there in the red shirt, Don. Scotty, you're going to let me have to know who that is.
Aaron Ward, freshman. Eli Lewis, junior. Stephon Moore, junior.
Lester James, senior.
Dustin Johnson, senior.
Matt Wright, sophomore.
Anthony Robinson, senior. Xavier Little, senior. Jeremy Powell, senior.
Garrett Powell, senior.
Thomas Johnson, junior.
And there you have the Phantoms. I'm sorry, in our head said they were very faint, so we weren't aware that they were. All right, and we're going to show you the starting lineup now for the Kecoughtan Warriors.
Tight end, defensive tackle.
Josh McCallum, defensive tackle, offensive guard.
Carl Craighead, wide receiver, defensive end.
Alan Weist, defensive end.
Artillery, tailback, linebacker.
Gerard Mayo, fullback and linebacker.
Mike Gaddis, right guard, weak linebacker.
Lachey McMillan, quarterback and DB.
Calvin Irvin, wide receiver, cornerback.
Maurice Hawkins, running back, strong safety.
Tyree Barnes, wide receiver and free safety.
And there they are.
And the nice graphics.
Great stuff, guys. All right, we are set to go. The Phantoms are set to receive. That is Aaron Ward standing back at the 7-yard line, and he will field the ball, or at least try to. It will go into the end zone, and it'll be an automatic touchback. The ball will come out to the 20-yard line.
That's one of the things that's different in the high school is you will not run it out of the end zone.
Even if you want to. It is an automatic touchback.
To, yes.
So the Phantoms will set up, as you've already seen, the Phantom starting lineup on offense, led by the freshman quarterback,
Aaron Ward.
Aaron
nice
Ward,
young man, number 3.
And on the ground with the initial play for a couple of tough yards.
And that looked like number 11, Tim.
It is number 11. You're absolutely right. That's Stephon Moss, a junior. 6'1", 205-pounder, as he picks up yardage to about almost the 24. So it'll be second down and about 6 for the Phantoms. Just underway.
He got more yardage than I thought he was going to get.
12-minute quarters in high school football. Those of you that may have forgotten that. This is Lewis, Elan Lewis, a name you will hear and see him often this year as you have in previous years. He is a good one. He is out close to the 29-yard line. It'll bring up a third down and a long yard, almost 2.
But, you know, you're probably, with the ball down at this end of the field, you're going to probably try to get a couple of first downs before you even think about putting the ball in the air. But this young man, Mr. Ward, can run the ball too, Tim.
A new feature you see up in the right-hand corner is the current stat situation. And this is Lewis, as he does pick up a first down as he crosses the 30 to about the 33-yard line.
I think he was about 157 yards shy of having 2,000 last year. And, Tim, you and I know that he set out a lot of third and fourth quarters because of the not wanting to run up the score too bad on some opponents.
So the initial first down of the ball game is registered by the Phoebus Phantoms. Coming to the near side, set out wide is Lester James, number 4. Along with number 5, that is Dustin Johnson out of the I formation. Ward from the 33. This is Lewis. Lewis cuts it inside nicely and crosses the 40-yard line. He'll pick up about 7 yards on the carry, and it'll bring up second and short.
Hey, Tim, there were no less than 8 Kecoughtan Warriors around that tackle that time. This team does a good job of pursuing, and that shows you some of that quickness and speed that I was telling you about that's on defense for the Warriors.
They mark the ball just across the 40. As you watch the replay here, you're going to see that last carry by Lewis.
Now watch how many people end up around the tackle.
The initial stop by Maurice Hawkins, number 7. Back to the live action. This is number 11, Stephon Moss. I got to double check on the pronunciation of his.
I think it's Stephon Moss.
Stephon?
I think it is, yeah.
Moss, I'm right. I'm comfortable with. It's Stephon, I'm not so sure of. It's S-T-E-V-O-N. And we will be the first to tell you that if one of you players listening to the ball game, watching the ball game, or a parent, if we mispronounce the game, please let us know.
Absolutely.
We'll be more than glad to make sure we get it correct.
And if we do, it's Tim's fault.
Exactly. Ball marked at the 45 of Phoebus, rather. This is the pitch to Lewis around the left end. He'll get a couple of tough yards out close to about the 48-yard line.
It's hard to run wide against a team that is very quick on defense and shows a lot of speed. And you can see how many people for the Warriors got over. Now, one thing that will happen if you're a pursuing team like that, you make yourself vulnerable to a misdirection or a reverse.
Lewis will get credit for 3 yards. Second down and 7 for the Phantoms. 8:47, the clock moving here in the scoreless first quarter. Tim Cole, Bob Hintz, Bob Killen, Mike Hauser, and the Channel 46 crew back with Monday Night Football. I always wanted to say that. This is the option from Ward, and Ward struggles, and a late flag comes down as he gets close to the first down. It'll be a couple of yards shy, but we'll have to wait and see.
He may have got another shot after he was out of bounds. We'll see.
Carter Ficklin, the referee for tonight's contest, as you'll watch the replay, see if you can pick it up.
And I want to thank Carter Ficklin. Every year he sends me the rule changes. that the VHSL does, and I do appreciate that, and it is against the Warriors.
Oh, as it should be. That was a very clear on the replay violation of out-of-bounds hit, so that was just totally unnecessary.
Well, we got this little break in action. Well, we'll listen to Carter.
Good ball.
Now that moves the ball deep already into the Warriors' end of the field.
That one was an easy call, as Ward was clearly out of bounds when he was hit. Not saying that it was done dirty or anything else. It was just a good call. He was out of bounds.
In all fairness, you can't stop on that out of bounds, Tim.
No.
You can see what it looks like down in front of us.
So the Phantoms give it to Lewis, and Lewis has some running room around the left side, and he will be very close to another first down as he is near the 20-yard line.
Young man is so strong in his legs, and it's just not his thighs that are big, his calves are big too. Kind of reminds you of some of those Walter Payton, some of these guys that played in the NFL that had huge thighs.
He picked up enough yardage to require a measurement.
Well,
as it's close to the first down. Go ahead, Bob.
Let me run this real quick. We will pick a player of the game from both teams tonight, and each player receive a trophy and a shirt. The trophy comes from Trophy World. They're located in Hilton Village in Newport News. For all your engraving, recognition awards, trophies, plaques, and contact Bob Hillen at Trophy World at 595-7354. Mention this announcement, you get special pricing. And then the shirt comes from Tidewater Team Sports, your one-stop sports headquarters for screen printing, embroidery, uniforms, and apparel. And you can look at our new shirts this year. We got them from there. Call 594-0411. Talk to Dave Chubb or Terry McNamara.
All right, Elan Lewis picked up just 10 yards, so it is enough to move the chains. Gives the Phantoms a first down at the Kecoughtan 22-yard line. They have controlled the opening kickoff and have driven to the 22. The handoff in the middle to Moss, and Moss is upended on a nice defensive stop by number 42, Alan Weist.
The young man I was talking to you about that hasn't played much football.
So he got 1 yard at the 21-yard line. It's marked second down.
And you watch it, there was just nowhere for him to go, but Allen was not the initial hit. The number 57 underneath the pile was the one that basically stopped the run, and that's Joshua McCullough.
But Weist will get credit for the slam. The pitch to Lewis, left side. Lewis gets close to the 15-yard line. About the 16 is where they'll mark him. So it'll bring up a third down and short. Third down and about 3.5, almost 4. And this is really the first crucial down of this possession.
Well, this could be a 4-down territory, but you got a good place kicker in Swartz. Does a good job for the Phantoms, but as wet and soft as it is, I don't know how well he can do a plant foot without it slipping a little bit on him.
So they actually don't give him quite as much yardage as I had anticipated. It's third down and 5 for the Phantoms. The pitch to Lewis. He cuts it inside, trying to follow his blocking, but the Warriors clog it up beautifully.
Yeah, they did.
And stop him well short of the first down at the 18-yard line. In fact, he may have lost a yard.
Yeah, he never even got back to the line of scrimmage. But great defense serves that time by the Warriors.
So the Warriors defense stiffens deep in their own.
So now a decision will be forthcoming.
And it's good. Looks like it's going to be.
Looks like the place kicker.
Yeah.
He kind of ran into his own blocker there.
Yeah, he did. And Chris Swartz is the kicker. He's just a junior.
So this is going to be a 35-yard field goal attempt by the right-footed kicker. The kick is up. It's long enough. And it's no good. So it looked like it was good from here. It was hard to tell. He certainly had the distance, but the 35-yard attempt is wide to one side or the other. Didn't indicate. Guess it was wide left. So the Warrior defense stiffened when it had to, and now they'll get the ball from the 20-yard line. See if you can see which it must have been wide left. Nope, wide right. Just barely missed.
It was close.
So McMillan will be under center for the Warriors on their first possession. The Phantoms used almost half of the first period before coming up with no score. First pass of the ball game is incomplete, right in the hands of Kelvin Irving, as Lachey McMillan threw it right on the numbers, but looked like perhaps Irving was looking downfield. As you can see on every level of football, you've got to put that ball away first.
Yeah, you do. We get a chance. We get a little break here. We'll show you the offensive starters for the Warriors, defense for the Phantoms. And very surprised coming right out throwing the ball. And that one thing that'll do is that'll loosen up that defense a little bit. Phoebus has always had a tough defense.
So 2nd down and 10 for the Warriors. The handoff inside for Mayo. And Mayo gets across the 20 to about the 24-yard line. So that will be a 3rd down and 6 for the Warriors.
Well, last week, Tim, we were supposed to do the Kecoughtan Nasman River game. We couldn't do it. We had some equipment problem, but I did have the coaches pick players of the game for that Nasman River game, and they were Jared Mayo and Lachey McMillan were slated by the coaches as one offense and one defensive player of the game.
Now the Warriors, well, actually, I'm not sure if it was the Warriors that have called a timeout, an official's timeout at least. With the ball just short of the 25 now, referee Ficklin restarts the clock, and we are set to go. 3rd down and a long 5 for the Warriors.
Good place for a draw.
One man in the backfield. This is a apparent pass attempt.
Oh,
and
they got him.
will not get back to the line of scrimmage. In fact, a 4-yard loss on the sack.
Cyrus, Francis, and James Hill.
Here are your lineups.
Maurice Hawkins, running back, strong safety.
Gerard Mayo, fullback and linebacker.
Calvin Irvin, wide receiver, cornerback.
Tyree Barnes, wide receiver and free safety.
Nathan Robertson, tight end, defensive tackle.
Derek White, center.
Mike Gaddis, right guard, weak linebacker.
Josh McCallum, defensive tackle, offensive guard.
Jonathan Ash, offensive tackle.
Chris Calkins, offensive tackle.
All right, we're back live now. The punt formation, McMillan is the kicker, and he gets a poor punt away. Coming to the near side, it'll go out of bounds at about the 43-yard line of the Warriors. Did not make it to midfield. So, again, that ball is wet. The ground is slippery. Just a 22-yard kick by McMillan, and the Phantoms will be back in business with the ball at the 43-yard line. 44 is where they give the official mark. So 3 and out for the Warriors on offense.
Well, their first running play was real good, picked up about 5 yards, and then the one pass should have been completed, was not, and the second one, the Phantoms were ready for it.
It always hurts you when you miss that first attempt and already you're 2nd and 10. It's always tough to come back from that. This is Lewis, and Lewis carrying tacklers for about 9 yards down to the 36-yard line. Elan Lewis will get plenty of carriers in the Bill D offensive scheme. Always has. We'll give you the defense for the Phantoms next time they are on defense. We didn't give you the starting lineups for them on that side of the ball. Didn't have time to.
That was over too fast.
2nd down and about 3 after the 7-yard gain by Lewis. 4:06 left here in the first quarter. And this will be enough for a first down as the power running game.
Well, that wasn't Moss. Lewis, was it? That's, no. I tell you, I'm impressed with this young man.
Yep. Stephon Moss.
He's 6'1", 205 junior, so both him and Lewis will be back next year, both juniors. And, of course, you got your freshman quarterback coming. That's a nice little nucleus they have coming back.
Well, and if you can have success this year, and Bill's team is off to a good start already, having won their first game, but it's a long season. But this bodes well for them.
This is like an overload.
Got the pitch to Lewis, looking for the running room, and again, a good job by the left side of the defense of the Warriors. Last time the Phantoms tried to do that, same result, little or no gain. Maybe a couple of yards.
Well, I tell you,
certainly stacked up nicely.
What's hurting Lewis more than anything else is he's got to slow down for his blockers in front of him. If they would get out and get a little faster, because he's kind of hesitating a little bit.
It's just difficult for no other reason than the fact that you're running on a very wet field.
That's got a lot to do with it.
Gained about 4 on the play. This is a play-action fake. Ward throws it deep in the end zone. It's a jump ball, and it batted away. They're going to call interference on the play.
He went over the back, Tim. You can't go through the man to get to the ball. You can't make contact and then hit the ball, and that's what happened. The official had trouble getting the ball, the flag out of his pocket. But
we'll watch it on the replay.
Nice fake. And look at the throw. It's pretty well on target.
It's really a jump ball, but the Warrior, I don't know, Bob. That's pretty ticky-tacky.
Yeah.
He tried to.
I'm looking for the left hand, but I didn't see the left hand do any pushing.
He leaped with the receiver and just batted at the ball. And quite frankly, I'll give the official down there, A, he's the official, I'm not, and B, he was much closer to than we are. But it sure looked like it was a pretty good play on the defense to knock that ball away. It wasn't like he ran into the guy or ran him over or grabbed him or anything else. They both kind of were playing the ball. And I think I could be wrong, but I think both players have an equal advantage to the ball.
They do have a right. Both of them have a right for the ball, but you can't go through a player to get to him, and I think that's what he was calling.
And I'm sure it was. So on the penalty, which is not, again, you NFL watchers, it's not the spot foul. It is a penalty from the line of scrimmage, and it was half the distance to the goal. So now the Phantoms will be second down, and the ball will be marked at about the 7-yard line as we hit the 2:33 mark in a scoreless first quarter. Both teams have played well so far.
Sounds like somebody's got 50 yards, did Bob say?
10 carries, Lewis.
Lewis, 10 carries, 50 yards. That's 5 per pop. That'll be a nice stat anytime.
Yeah.
This is Lewis again, and he evades one tackler inside the 5 to about the 4.
Well, he can get down and get a first down without getting in the end zone, Tim. The first down looks like about the 3?
It does. So they unstack the pile, and Lewis is one of the last up, along with number 78 doing some blocking for him. That's Thomas Johnson. He's a big boy, 6'2", 240.
And he's just a junior.
Yep. Where does Bill find all these juniors and sophomores and freshmen again?
Well, that big guy is, I don't know where he gets them, but he's got some good ones. And both of these teams
in the I formation now, Marcus Samuels lines up in the backfield. This is a scrum forward in the end zone.
Quarterback keeper.
Yep. So from 3 yards out, Aaron Ward, 3-yard touchdown run for the Phantoms with 1:32 remaining in the first quarter. Gives them a 6-0 lead, and now they'll try the extra point.
Well, the first time they came down the field, Kecoughtan held them. They missed the field goal. Short punt, give them a short field, and then you had that 15-yard penalty on pass interference or half the distance.
Schwartz's kick is up. It's long enough, and this time it's good. So the Phantoms score first and lead 7-0. That series took 3 minutes and 18 seconds, 44 yards. As you see, just a power surge behind that offensive line. Aaron Ward taking it in for 3 yards. 44 yards was the length of the series, 6 plays it took, and the Phantoms score first and lead 7-0 with 1:32 remaining in the first.
Zooms has given an award this year to the senior player on each of the teams who has demonstrated academic excellence. These football players will be awarded plaques at a school board meeting after the season's over. We'd like to thank David Allen and Zooms for their continued support of WHCS and our student athletes. And, of course, we always want to thank our people down at Hampton Chevrolet. They're located at 1073 West Mercury Boulevard. Give them a call. What is that number? I got it somewhere.
838-5450.
There you go.
I got the address wrong, but I got the number right.
Yeah. I thought it was 1073.
Yeah.
And it just came out. I don't even have it anywhere, but I couldn't remember this.
Well, I gave it as 1020. That's an old.
But if they get close, they'll be able to see the sign,
That's right. 1073 West Mercury Boulevard as the kick is underway, and we've got whistles and a stoppage of play. Looks like one of the Phantoms was offside on the kickoff. Not a huge crowd on hand tonight. Of course, it is Monday night. Yeah. It has been a rainy day, and there is NFL football on and a lot of different reasons. But I kind of thought that we'd have a big crowd for 2 really good teams like this. But you know what? The game started at 7.
And papers had it.
Well, the paper initially had it at 7, but then in Sunday's paper they had a little update on the high school sports, and they had this game listed at 7:30. So it's a very big possibility that a number of people weren't sure of the exact start time, and there's still some people coming in. So, but this could be a game that will decide, even though it's only the second game of the season for these two teams, it could very well determine which of these two teams would go on to postseason play.
Well, I tell you who can be a big spoiler in this, and there's a team you better watch out for, and it's the Hampton High Crabbers.
All right, Schwartz this time will kick it from further back. It's taken at the 17-yard line. Up the middle, almost broke that one through as a nice return by Terrence Dorsey, number 2.
Get a chance now. We'll show you the Phoebus defense.
Want to be equal opportunity, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
A return of about 17 yards. First and 10 Warriors.
They mark the ball at the 37-yard line, where the Warriors will have it for the second time in the ball game, unable to do anything on their first possession. There you see the score in the upper right-hand corner of your screen. Our continued efforts to make our coverage the best in the state.
Hawkins gets the call. He's back at the line of scrimmage.
Little or no gain.
Little Stephon Moss, number 11, young man who's been playing fullback, right in there on the tackle.
There you see the crowd. That's
it's
the home
not a
side.
bad crowd
No,
tonight.
Really,
but we thought there might be the stands full because there's no other game.
Right. And it is a game, even though it's only the second game of the season, of great importance to both of these schools.
I see our friend Mr. Brent Musgrove and his lovely wife Barbara in the stands.
Quick hitter to Mayo, and Mayo crosses the 40 to about the 41-yard line.
We got to play in the help soft golf tournament this past Thursday, and Brent Musgrove, Jack McDonald, Danny Hilling, and myself were in it, and we won it for the second year in a row. And my hat goes off to Brent Musgrove. He made some long putts for birdies, which was really kind of neat what you have to do. But we ended up shooting a 56 and winning that thing. So I do appreciate young Mr. Musgrove.
He appreciates you, too.
Of course, Danny Hilling hits the ball further than you and I can see.
Third down, Mayo, and he is stopped.
No, he got the – look at that.
Yeah, he was stopped short of the first down, but a great second and third effort will give a first down to the Warriors.
You can see why he got the player of the game last week. Young man was hit 2 yards shy of the first down and ended up picking up 3 more yards after he was hit.
You don't get a chance to see the replay.
Right there. See, he's at the looks like 49, and look where he ends up. He was hit at the 49.
He picked up 4. Well, they gave him 3 more because they've marked it at the 40.
It wasn't the 49. I'm sorry. It was the 44, 45, yeah.
But nonetheless, the Warriors, as the first quarter comes to an end, register the first down. So they'll get a fresh set to go with here as the second quarter will be underway in just a moment. Threatening skies here at Darling Stadium, although it looks like we'll get by. Our next game is coming up this Friday night, and I say it's coming up. It's scheduled for this Friday. Of course, as you watch this game, you will know better about the impending Isabel hurricane and what impact that might have on us. If that game is rained out, it's very possible we won't have a replay of that game. But that game, if it is on, it is here at Darling Stadium, and that'll be Phoebus hosting the Denby Patriots.
That's correct. Have a good chance here. We want to get the defense for the Phantoms, get them to introduce themselves.
See, we can't get that for you. But as the second quarter gets set to begin, the Warriors have it at their 48, first down. McMillan wants to throw, lofts it up, and that one was really way out of bounds. And now here is your lineup for the Phantoms.
Garrett Powell, senior.
Anthony Robinson, senior.
James Hill, senior.
Steve Friday, junior.
Eli Lewis, junior. Matt Wright, sophomore.
Travis Kadera, senior.
Stephon Moss, junior.
Lester James, senior.
Good job.
Stefan Moss. See, I got it right the first time.
So
All
if
right.
we can hear it, we do better, don't we?
We're 1 for 1. I couldn't hear the other lineups, but that one I heard. All right, 2nd and 10. Flag down on the play. It is a first down if it stands. The Warriors move it all the way down to 30.
Then we got another flag.
Late flag at the end of the play. So let's see how these unfold.
May come back all the way and just redo it again.
Let referee Ficklin and his veteran crew unravel this one for us. Here is the replay of the action.
You got holding against the Warriors, both of them.
So they had it at the line of scrimmage as well as downfield. So that'll be a mark off from the line of scrimmage, 10 yards. Or part of the spot of the foul, excuse me.
Holding against the Warriors declined on the second holding.
Which one they did decline? The first one or the second?
The second one, because this was a I got you kind of question. Okay, you got me.
No, actually, there was a difference because one would have been from the line of scrimmage. The other one was from the spot of the foul, which moved them further back. So just having a little fun with you about it. 41-yard line. 2nd down and long now. 2nd and 18, almost 19. And the handoff in the backfield was almost completed to a Phantom as they read that play perfectly. Number 82 was in on the stop. That is Stephen Friday. And Friday was there on Monday to make the stop.
Yes, he was.
Yes.
And he's just a junior.
Watch this replay, and he
just beat his block.
And he was there. Mayo had no chance at all. He was wrapped up and no place to go. So moving in the wrong direction if you're a Warrior fan. Back to the 36-yard line. Now it's 3rd down and 22. 21. Out of the shotgun. McMillan gives to Mayo, and Mayo will get about 3 yards to the 40-yard line. So a rather conservative call.
Well, that long, it's just almost impossible. And you just throw the ball up, you got, two bad things going to happen.
I wasn't being critical. I was just
I know you weren't, but I'm just kind of saying this for the fans. Why didn't he go for it? Well, interception, incomplete. Maybe you could catch him spreading them out a little bit, and that's what he did. He spread it out.
All right, so the Phantoms will be back in deep punt formation. Excuse me, the Warriors, rather. And this one is a better kick. It's also a different kicker, but it's fielded at the 32-yard line. And then the special teams for the Warriors does an excellent job of stopping Lester James right in his tracks.
That's Joshua McCullough.
So the ball marked at the 37-yard line of Phoebus. Remind me when we are at halftime. I got a thing to tell you about this world being a small world. I'll just tell you about it. Just don't let me forget.
Small world. Do you know how to sing that? We in a small world,
no.
Isn't it? Are you going to sing to me? You're not going to sing to me?
I'm not going to do it to you.
Oh,
I don't
You're not going to do it to me.
No, I wouldn't do it. 28-yard punt. Little or no return. Phantoms with a 7-0 lead and a quick hitter up the middle. That's enough for a first down, about 12 yards on the play. And on the carry was number 15, Marcus Samuels, a senior.
And I tell you, he was so open, but somebody got a hand on his foot, and he was stumbling, and he stumbled for 10 of those 12 yards. But he didn't go down. He picked up the first down right at midfield. Good job.
Yeah, Marcus Samuels. So Samuels has done a nice job along with Lewis and Moss so far. Right at midfield. And this is Lewis. Lewis has some running room, cuts it to the outside with a good block, 40-35, and dragged down to the 32-yard line, but that'll be another big first down for the Phantoms, a gain of 18 yards on the play.
They actually marked it at the 31. He kind of dove forward a little bit. He saw he was going to make contact, so he said, well, I'm going to deliver one of the blows.
Here's your replay.
Look how he uses the blocker right here. There's a guy block right there, number 4 for the Phantoms, and that's Lester James.
Yep. Again, the big quick hitter for Marcus, and he rumbles down to the 21-yard line, close to another first down.
Boy, he's showing some strength, isn't he? He's a senior, 6 foot, 200 pounds.
Marcus Samuels, close to the first down. They may have to measure for it. It may, in fact, be a first down, and it is. So a 10-yard gain by Marcus Samuels.
And he was a young man that I knew was going to be in that lineup.
So now the Warriors want to regroup as they take their second timeout, or was that their first timeout?
Well, they need to, Tim. The last 3 running plays have picked up. Where did they start at? Around a 40 or somewhere?
Yep.
And then they've moved all the way down. They picked up about 40-some yards. So you've got to do something to maybe stop the momentum of the Phantoms. So good call, timeout. You know, you can't take them with you in the halftime.
No, and I think that's a good point. I think Tommy Austin could see that the momentum was clearly moving for the Phantoms and decided, wait a minute, we need to regroup. And if you have a young team or second game of the season, you know, you have to go back and say, oh, wait a minute, guys, you got to fill, you have certain areas you're supposed to cover, you have obligations, you have, you know, things that you're supposed to do. Let's not get our head going in a spin here because they're moving the ball on us. You start worrying about how am I going to stop them, and you forget the things you need to do to make sure you don't.
And it was Dan Thompson, the defensive coordinator, that went out and talked to the defense, not Tommy Austin. He has delegated some of that coaching ability, and Dan Thompson has always been a good defensive coach.
All right, so the Phantoms now with Lewis and Samuels in the backfield. This is Lewis, and he is stopped dead in his tracks for a loss.
Tillery and Mayo.
Yep. Jared Mayo and Tillery in to stop the. So a good timeout results in a good defensive play by the Warriors. And it brings up a second down and a long 11. Actually, it's more like 12.
We got too much.
Well, I'd love to have a little air coming through. Thank you.
1 is not bad. 2 is terrible.
And we're referring to the windows up here.
We're talking about the
stanchions. Isn't that what they're called? Stanchions?
It sounds good to me.
Second and long. Swing pass to Lewis. Lewis has some running room. He is inside the 10-yard line. That'll be enough for another first down. At the 9-yard line, he is dragged down, but not until he gets a first down. On the stop, Byron Tillery again. They mark it at the 9.
What a nice call, Tim. A little fake to the right, and then this little swing pass coming out of the backfield to Lewis, who shows real good hands, catching the ball and then turning it upfield and picking up the yardage. And now we got first and goal. Got good protection that time.
I think that's the first pass of the ball game for the Phantoms. This is Lewis again, a flag on the play.
Yeah, we had movement in the backfield.
Yeah, that'll go into the end zone for a touchdown until it's called back, or at least very close to the end zone.
But they were lined up in that elephant formation that Bill D calls, with the 3 backs lined up in a tandem, and you had your middle back. If we show that in replay, moved a little bit, and you can't do that. And that's exactly what they're calling. And that wipes out a touchdown. A nice run by Elon Lewis.
So they mark it at the 14.
So watch. Oh, you can't see the backs behind him. You can see how he runs when he gets the ball. He runs right through tacklers.
Inside of 8 minutes to go here in the first half rather. Phoebus 7 and threatening to score again. Lewis is grabbed in the backfield, gets a couple of yards, but a good defensive stop. 57, Joshua Masella.
It's McCalla.
My print is a little weak here. McCalla.
Yeah, you need another one?
Yeah,
a little bit better one? Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Because my eyes are weak. Although I understand.
Well, I know you're weak, Tim, but geez, I thought you were lifting weights and trying to get in shape.
I've been lifting too many burgers lately.
Uh-oh.
Got an injured player on the field. We'll mention that
Looks like.
If you notice, Bob looks a little different on the pregame shows. He's not wearing those glasses anymore. You had that surgery, huh? See if we can pick up who the injured player is.
Chris McCallum.
Yeah, you can see it right there on the right-hand side of your screen. He gets kind of bent over, and that is not a good position to be in.
No.
Yep. So hopefully that will not be a serious injury. Right now they're looking at the leg, and that was an awkward position to be in.
Yeah, it really was.
All too often you see that happen.
WHCS Channel 46 presents your school board meetings live on the first and third Wednesday of each month, and they're start at 7:30 p.m., so tune in and be informed.
Very gingerly getting up. And
it's good to see him walking it off a little bit.
Yeah, I mean,
he's getting some help. Jerry Gentry is the trainer over there, and you remember Jerry used to be was a basketball coach at the Phantoms for a few years, and got to know Jerry. Known him for many years. He does a good job. And he says, if my job is, which I hope I never have to do anything, he says that's the kind of job I would like to have.
Well, there will be some examining of that leg, and hopefully Mr. Johnson will be able to continue. And the good news is he was not carried off, but it does look like it's giving him some problems. All right, back to the live action now. And this is a fake and a handoff. No, it's still in the hands of Ward, and he slips up as he tries to avoid a tackler, but a very
we got a
play.
flag.
Byron Tillery makes the stop, but a flag in the backfield. We'll see what this one is.
Looks like it's against the Phantoms. But that was a nice fake, and it was basically a naked bootleg.
Watch this. I mean, he did a great job of faking. See, anytime you got a player of the caliber of Lewis, the defense has to play him as if he's got it. And then when they realize that he doesn't have it, they're quick to react, and Tillery stopped him. But it would have been of no consequence because there was a flag on the play against the Phantoms.
That's holding. That's the first big penalty against the Phantoms tonight. We had a couple against the Warriors.
You and I can't hear the referee. I was wondering
I don't know if
I'm wondering if Scotty can tell us, can the fans hear him, because he is mic'd, but we can't tell when he's speaking.
Once again, quarterback Aaron Ward leads his team to the
Okay. Well, that answers that. Referee Ficklin has not turned on his transmitter, so we'll talk right over him. All right, now it's second and long. Second and goal from the 29-yard line. And Ward steps up in the pocket and will not get away from the defense led by Tillery again. Byron Tillery needs to be careful when you do a little of that posturing. You can be called for taunting, even though you're not in the player's face. And he's kind of doing a little of this thing you see in the NFL after he has made a big play.
There's no need for that.
Well, you just need to be aware of the fact it costs your team 15 yards for unsportsmanlike conduct.
Well, he coming from that middle linebacker spot. They're playing three linebackers. The linebackers, Tillery's playing the middle one. Mayo and Gaddis are playing the two outside linebackers.
Here's your replay. Out of the gun. And Ward just doesn't see anything open downfield and steps up in the pocket.
Well, the pocket kind of collapsed on him when he stepped up in it.
Yep. So a timeout is called by the Phantoms with 6:37 remaining in the first half. They lead 7-0. They lead, if you joined us late, Aaron Ward, the freshman quarterback, scored from 3 yards out on the second possession of the ball game following a missed field goal attempt and a short punt by the Warriors. 44 yards, the number of yards in the drive. 6 plays is all it took. And Aaron Ward capped it off with the 3-yard run. And that's how we stand right now, 7-0 in favor of the Phantoms. It is third and goal at the 27-yard line. Series of penalties have cost the Phantoms. Quick handoff to Marcus Samuels, and Samuels will get a few yards down to about the 20-yard line is where they apparently will mark as forward progress, but that'll bring up fourth down and see if we'll see Schwartz again on try, and he will be out.
About a 37-yarder.
He had the distance last time.
Yeah.
He just missed it wide to the right. So we will see an apparent field goal attempt. It'll be a 37-yarder. And I use the word apparent because you never know for certain, but James, check that, Lester James, that's going to mess both of us up tonight, will hold. Schwartz's kick is blocked. And it's picked up by Schwartz. He has to score with it, otherwise it'll go over to the Warriors. He is stopped short of the end zone, so the Phantoms lose the ball on the blocked field goal attempt.
But Tim, I'd like to see who got his hand on it, but very heads up on Schwartz's part to take it down and really give the Warriors real poor field position, because on a block punt, sometimes a block field goal, sometimes you end up with the ball and get a score. So
we've got an injured player down for the Warriors. Can't make out who it is from here yet, but he is now being helped up. It's Tillery. Good. So I'm glad to see he is able to get up and apparently walk it off.
That movement in the backfield really cost the Phantoms, because they had a touchdown call back, and that was an obvious penalty because the middle back was moving.
They just went backwards right after that.
Yeah.
So the Warriors very much in this ball game.
Well, that's one thing that they've been noted for since Tommy Austin has been there, is their defense.
Well, you mentioned it last year. The two teams played in very close ball games. 10-7 and 17-13, I believe, were the two scores. So in the shadow of their own goalposts, the Warriors keep it on the ground. That's Maurice Hawkins, 5'11", senior, 178-pounder. Gets yardage out to about the 11. Check that 10 they spotted. They mark it at the 10-yard line, so that'll bring up second down and about 7 to go.
The ball is spotted right on the 10-yard line. What was it?
Right on the 10, Bob.
Well, you sound like you got deep on me there.
Right on the 10. Right on the 10. You got a new quarterback in there as well, as the handoff goes to Hawkins again. The quarterback now is Nick Silvis, who is a junior, 6 foot, 170-pounder, replacing McMillan as the quarterback.
Well, McMillan is what, number one? Number 1, yeah. And I wonder if he's hurt or anything.
See if we can spot him on the
I'm looking on the sideline, and I do not see him.
Unless they've got him in the backfield somehow.
Hey, maybe, right? Is it him right there, right? Standing sideways with the two coaches around him.
Might be. Third down and 8. So Silvis, and on the exchange, the ball is loose. It looks like the Warriors got it back. That would have been a disaster with 4:16 and the clock moving here in the first half.
Well, that happens a lot, Tim, when you have a new quarterback in. At the exchange between center and the quarterback right there, you can see it just slipped right out of his hands. He never really had it, and he was turning before he really had the ball, and that's very scary if you're the Kecoughtan coaches, because you surely don't want to give the ball to the Phantoms inside the 10-yard line.
They're likely to have pretty good field position, will be the Phantoms regardless, but that would have been incredible field position.
Yeah, it really would have been. Well, I don't know what happened to our mics, but it got loud.
Yes, it did. The kick is relatively short. It's going to take a Kecoughtan bounce to the 31-yard line.
Oh, now we got a penalty come in. One of the Phantoms made a hit on a guy, and I don't. Scotty, all of a sudden our mics got real. Now we're going. Okay, my sinuses were draining.
Just a 25-yard punt.
But there'd be a 15-yard penalty tacked onto that. Thank you, sir.
Hit ball.
Well, that'll be against the Phantoms.
Foul against the Phoebus Phantoms.
And that's uncalled for, because you had great field position. Nobody was doing anything. Why even take a chance of hitting somebody? And it was just one of those things as a coaches will really let that young man know, hey, that wasn't a good decision.
So
the Warriors get out of trouble. They were going to be back at their 30-yard line, and this moves it all the way out to the 47-yard line. Makes that distance the Phantoms need to go considerably further with 3:31 remaining in the first half. Warriors have used one of their timeouts, as have the Phantoms. Each with two remaining.
I thought Kecoughtan used 2 timeouts.
Well, I thought they did. I'm just going by the scoreboard.
Yeah. Sometimes scoreboard's wrong.
So Ward over center. On the fake, he keeps it on the option play, and he will be taken down inside the 40-yard line. A gain of about 9 yards.
He's slipping. You noticed that time when he tried to make a move, cut inside.
That field is just as soggy as it possibly can be, and with the impending storm coming, this field won't get a chance to dry out anytime soon.
They may play water polo here next week. I don't know.
They might. Unscheduled. But
do we have water? Can we?
I can't do play-by-play on water polo.
You can't? Oh, okay.
I can try.
Blub, blub, blub. We have to watch underneath the water? Or?
Out of the I formation. This is Lewis, and Lewis starts to the outside and is in the hold of a defender and holding on for dear life. I believe that's Tillery again. I can't make out.
No, it's number 1, McMillan.
Is that McMillan? And no, it's 51.
Yeah.
51, who is the young man, that is Gaddis.
And he's slow getting up. He's one of those outside linebackers, but he's up all right. That's good.
But now we have a Phantom that's not getting up yet. I can't make out his number. And if that's Lewis, you have to take a real deep breath if you're a Phantom fan. I can't see who it is. Let's see if we can see on the replay what happens.
Well, I don't see Lewis out there.
Well, this is Lewis, and Lewis is being tackled to the right-hand side of your screen. Right there, and that's a precarious situation to be in when one guy's got you by the legs and a couple other guys hit you. You can be spun.
Lewis.
Yeah, it is Lewis. And boy, if you're Bill D and the Phoebus fans, you have to be holding your breath that this is nothing serious, because this young man is the key to your offense. Mr. Ward has done a great job as the freshman leading this team at quarterback, but Elon Lewis is the creme de la creme of the running group here on the peninsula. And he is not putting much weight on that leg at the moment, so that could be serious.
We will not see him the rest of the first half. We don't have but 2:43 to go, but
boy, he is just not able to put a lot of weight on that leg. So that's 2 big components of this Phoebus team that have limped off in the last few minutes, and that would be the biggest of all of them. So you saw how he was in the grasp, and I'm not insinuating for a moment there was anything untoward or unnecessary about the tackle. It's just what happens.
No, he was trying to get the extra yardage, and
now let's hope for Phoebus's sake that's just a temporary dinger. So the Phantoms, with a scant 7-0 lead, have lost Elan Lewis, at least for the time being.
Well, and they lose him off of defense too, Tim. They had to move him on the defense because they needed some outside help. And he's playing one of those outside linebackers for the Phantoms, so they lose him on both sides of the ball. So in essence, you're losing 2 players.
Yeah. And one of the best running backs on the peninsula, period. 2nd down and about 7. Ward faking, wants to throw, and throws too long. It was almost intercepted. That's probably, they'd like to have the ball, but that probably worked out just as well for the Warriors not to intercept that ball there. We'll bring up a 3rd and long now. McMillan would have been caught back inside of his 5, but I guess you'd take the ball in that case regardless.
Oh, yeah, because the Phantoms could get down there within field goal striking range again, so they're going to take their, I guess that's their 2nd timeout.
At least their 2nd.
Ladies and gentlemen, I need your attention, please.
There you see McMillan, who had started at quarterback for the Warriors, and has on offense at least been replaced momentarily by Phoebus.
Yeah, but I see he's out there playing defense, so whatever the problem was, I expect him to see him back on offense.
It might not have been a problem. It might have just been that they wanted to give Phoebus an opportunity in the situation. Who knows? But
that's a tough little situation down there inside your 10-yard line.
Sure is. So let's set it up for you now. The clock has 1:50 remaining in the half. It's 3rd down and about 7 for the Phantoms. They have lost, at least temporarily, Elan Lewis, and I see him being helped along the sideline towards the locker room. I don't think that's a minor injury. And, boy, I tell you, if you're the Phantoms, you just hope that is nothing.
Oh, he can't put any weight on that left leg at all, Tim.
That is good. That is tough news for the Phantoms, boy. Again, we'll see this again. There's Lewis struggling, as he so often is known for those 2nd and 3rd efforts. And then he just gets twisted awkwardly as we're back to the live action now. The pass incomplete, thrown over the head of the intended receiver. That is Dustin Johnson. So it brings up 4th down and long now. So we'll see if the Phantoms go for it.
Well, if you punt it, it goes in the end zone. They're going to pick up about 11 yards.
So they're going to go for it at this point as Aaron Ward is out there instead of Schwartz, the kicker. On the option, pitch it outside, and the ball comes loose.
It makes no difference if he didn't get the first down. Well, he might have picked up the first down.
He might have had the first down, but the ball came loose. I haven't seen an official indication whose ball it is. The Phantoms say it's theirs.
And it looks like a first down if it is.
If it's still their ball, it's a first down. Now they're going to look at it.
Phantoms retain possession.
All right.
We will have a timeout to see if it's a first down.
Well, if you look where the play is, where
17.
the ball is, he's got a good yard, looks like, doesn't it?
Yes. Nicholas Alejandro was the ball carrier.
Alejandro, yes.
He is the punter/kicker, but he was the runner/runner on that play. And I think he got a first down. I'm going to go out on a limb here, Bob. First call of the season.
Yeah, you got to, Tim. I can pick this one up.
Yeah, well, that was an easy one, I got to tell you. So it is a first down. There was a fumble, but apparently the fumble either was after the whistle or it was recovered by the Phantoms in any event. So they keep the drive alive with $1:38 on the clock, and they have one timeout remaining.
Well, what you want to do is get a, little. You'd like to get a touchdown, but if you don't, you want to get in good field position and get it close enough so that young Chris Schwartz, who's got a good leg, he was the long field goal kicker last year, so I know he's got some pretty good distance.
Aaron Ward over center with the I formation. Handoff up the middle. Marcus Samuels, and Samuels is down. Is he in the end zone? No, they say he's down inside the 1-yard line. He reached out as to put the ball on the goal line, but his knee went down before he did that. And fortunately, the ball came loose. Fortunately for the Phantoms, it was not ruled a fumble. He was down by contact inside the 1.
Watch this nice run. Look at this.
It'll be first and goal, Phoebus.
So there's the knee down.
Yeah, actually, the knee looked like it was down at about the 2-yard line, but we got another touchdown.
Yep. Regardless of the previous call.
Well, I tell you, Alejandro did a good job of picking up that first down.
So number 3, Ward, has his second short touchdown run of the ballgame. And they expand the lead now. So the Phantoms increase their lead to 13. Schwartz will try and make it 14. But again, the big story might be the condition of Elan Lewis as he was helped off the field and helped to the locker room. Schwartz's kick is long enough, and it is good. So the Phantoms scored with $1:32 left in the first quarter. Now with a 1:10 remaining in the half, score again. This took 2 minutes and 21 seconds. It was a 53-yard drive, 8 plays, capped off by the 1-yard run by quarterback Aaron Ward.
What number was Alejandro?
He is number 17.
I don't have him here. You got a 17?
Yeah.
No, you got that's Kecoughtan. You got the wrong
player. I got the wrong player. Never mind.
That's what I'm thinking. I thought Alejandro was on the Warriors, and I'm looking for him on.
I'm sorry. You're absolutely right. I found a 17, just didn't have the right color jersey.
Well, we don't have a 17. I'll have to see who 17 is. Maybe.
Yes, we will.
Well, we'll find out.
We'll find out. I apologize to Alejandro. You did not score a touchdown. Nicholas Alejandro, wrong team. And a player that will be determined at halftime, hopefully. We'll get the correct name for that number.
Did Kellen and get that?
No, he asked me who 17 was. I told him it was Alejandro.
Well, you know, a good stat man would have that stuff.
No comment from me. I'm the one that gave the wrong team to the wrong guy and everything.
Well,
39-yard line is
first game of the season, Willis.
Right.
You know,
that's a gimme, right?
Yeah, that's a gimme. The only one.
That's my mulligan.
That's it.
My mulligan for the year. That's going to be a long year if that's the only one I get. All right, the Warriors trips to the near side as they would like to get something happening before halftime. They down by 14. This is Jared Mayo, and Mayo goes nowhere. Did not get back to the line of scrimmage. Lost about 3.
Well, he didn't fool number 77, Cyrus Francis, 6'3", 300-pound senior.
There you see Buddy Norris, the photographer for the Daily Press, in your picture there for a moment.
Oh, was he? What happened to our award-winning photographer?
Ken must be taking the night off. Ken's
this is Monday. This is Monday. See, he just does Friday games.
Right. He's
Friday and Saturdays, right?
He just is a specialist. He does Friday night football. Second down and about 13 to go. Clock moving. We're inside a half a minute now. Down close to 20 seconds. McMillan back in at quarterback. Throws complete. No. Can't hold on to it.
Tillery had it.
Yeah,
and would have gotten it had he not got double teamed, hit at the last second.
That was perfect defense. They never really had control of the ball. It stopped with clock with 16 seconds remaining. Phoebus 14 and Kecoughtan nothing. Here's your replay.
Watch how close he comes to catching this ball.
It's on his fingers. He's got the ball
right there. Taps it. Okay, I've got it. I've got my hands on it. Boom.
Boy, I tell you, when you're a receiver too,
and you
got
know
a guy
they're coming
from both directions.
And you don't hear boom, boom, boom. You hear squish, squish, squish.
And you know you're going to get hit. You say to your quarterback, listen, keep it down just a little bit. Warriors sticking to the ground.
They're going to let their clock run out, Tim.
Yeah, they will be very content at this point to go in at halftime, and a player shaken up right at the end of that play. That's Mayo for Kecoughtan, who's slow to get up. But that is the end of the first half. So we have reached halftime here at Darling Stadium. Our score at halftime is Phoebus 14, Kecoughtan nothing. We'll return to Darling Stadium for the third quarter of action after this brief timeout. Back at halftime, Tim Cole, Bob Hintz. As you see the stats in the first half, first downs have the Phantoms with 13, just 1 for the Warriors. 12 carries for 10 yards for the Warriors, and 21 carries for 122 yards for the Phantoms. 14 yards passing on 1 of 3 for the Phantoms. No completed passes for Kecoughtan. There you see the return yards, 4 yards for the Phantoms, 2 returns for 28 yards for Kecoughtan. And the rest of the stats pretty heavily in favor of the Phantoms, 15 minutes to 8 minutes of time of possession. So the first half, really though, Bob, the most important statistic of the first half could be the injured players that were affected at the conclusion of the first half. Elan Lewis was carried off the field and was also assisted to the locker room could not put any weight on, I believe it was his left leg.
Yeah, it was his left one. And it was his knee, it looked like, which is scary.
Well, you know, it can happen in high school. You see season-ending injuries in every level, and just hit the wrong way, just twist the wrong way. And let's just hope for the young man's future that it was not as bad as it could have been, and hopefully we'll get a report and it won't be quite that bad.
Well, we have to do a quick update. The young man that carried the ball that picked up that first down was number 27, and that's Jamar Whitaker, and we inadvertently called him Alejandro Nicholas, and we apologize for that. We had the wrong number.
I had the wrong number.
So
it's Jamar Whitaker, number 27. Yeah, I thought it was 17. I saw the
here it is, right there.
Sure is clearly 27, Tim. So you know, I tell you the first thing to go is your memory. And I can't remember the rest of that.
What's the second thing? I can't remember. Well, listen, Tim, we will start the second game and see what.
Or second half.
They got to make some adjustments. Kecoughtan gets the ball to begin with.
Here you see the good crowd on hand as the Warriors get the ball to start the second half. Across the 25, struggling out to about the 28-yard line. A nice return by Dakota Mathis, number 9 of Kecoughtan.
Well, I got a nice surprise during halftime. Had a young man that I coached in junior high school back in the mid-'60s, Billy Wampler. His son is number 80 on the Kecoughtan team. They got him listed as 6'2", but he's really 6'4", 180, and he's just a sophomore. And it's good to see Billy, and, you know, we'll keep an eye out for his son.
Is this third generation?
No, this is second generation. If it's third generation, my wife says I'm out of here.
This is Mayo, and Mayo burst into the open out to midfield. Ball comes loose. Let's see, they'll say he was down. So Jared Mayo, who was shaken up at the very end of the first half, comes out with no ill effects to be seen, and he gets a nice run out to midfield.
Looks like about 20 yards.
Here you see the fake and the inside trap.
But it's a nice trap. Number 57 for the Warriors making the trap, and that's Joshua McCalla.
Now that I have this better sheet here, I can see it's not Masella, it's McCalla. So right at midfield, the Warriors down by 14 have something going. And this is Tillery, and Tillery does a good job of picking up almost 3 yards.
Well, sometimes you put some new people back here in that backfield, and Tillery is a hitter. He likes to hit, likes to play defense. Well, you let him put him back there and let him do some blocking, and it'll open up some things, and and give him a little chance to run the ball too. Picked up what, about 3 yards?
Yep. Exactly 3, second down and 7. And we are told by our statistician, Bob Killen. Is he on the field, Bob? He's on the sideline. That we will see Elan Lewis. So that is great news. I don't care who you're pulling for. You would hate to have thought that Lewis might have suffered a season-ending or at least a serious injury. And from the looks of the way he was carted off at halftime, I'm amazed that he'll even be on the field, let alone playing again.
You got that right. Carl Craighead and James Payne combined that time to stop young Mr. Tillery before he got anywhere. They pulled him out and put the regular fullback back, or halfback back in there. Gerard Mayo plays the fullback place, but he is a tremendous player, this Mayo kid.
There you see it in the upper right-hand corner, 3rd and 9, the pitch. And nowhere, the defense is reading that play perfectly. Mathis never had a chance, or check that, Maurice Hawkins rather, never had a chance as he was wrapped up for a loss. And the Warriors, who looked like they had something going, as you'll watch the replay here, he just stopped dead in his tracks.
Right here, nice job by number 82. Again, that's Craighead, isn't it?
Yeah,
Craighead. Let's check that out.
That's Stephen Friday.
That's Stephen Friday, yeah. Young man is got the wrong rosters in front of me here.
See, it happens to the best of us.
Oh,
partially blocked. The punt, a low one, and the Phantoms can pick it up and advance it, and they will. Down the far sideline, all the way to about the 36, 37-yard line. So the Phantoms will have great field position off of the block punt.
That was number 21 that picked the ball up and ran it, and that's That's Ray, Gerald Ray, number 21.
Picked it up at the 50-yard line and returned it for about 12 yards to the 38-yard line. Watch this replay.
Who got their hand on the ball? Maybe we can see here.
It was the punter kind of angled it. Can't see from, well, we pulled away before you could see it, but it was in fact blocked. Now back to the live action. And I want to make sure, but I think that is number 38 that just carried the ball.
It is.
Is it 38? I want to make sure.
Yep, it is.
Oh, that is great news. I don't care who you're pulling for. That's great news. Elena Lewis back in the lineup. So what appeared to be a very painful and debilitating injury has apparently been healed at halftime. Bill D must be breathing a huge sigh of relief.
Well, you know, you asked the young man, are you ready? Can you do it? And obviously he's ready.
He's not even limping. He moved the ball down to the 29-yard line. And it's third down and about 2. After a 6-yard gain, well, they mark it closer to the 30-yard line. But it still is third and a couple. 8:17 on the clock here in the third quarter. Phoebus 14, Kecoughtan nothing. There you see it in the upper right-hand corner. The handoff to Samuels, and he is going to have enough for a first down at the 27-yard line.
Well, I tell you, Phoebus would rather run the ball than throw the ball in you know, if they had their druthers. You throw the ball when all of a sudden you look up there and you got 9 men on the line of scrimmage, then you could open them up a little bit because they're going to stop the run because you just don't have enough people to block everybody. But right now they're controlling that line of scrimmage, and that's the difference of this game is who's controlling the line of scrimmage.
Aaron Ward over center. And now we've got flags and finger pointing from the Warriors side of the ball.
The second half brought to you in part by Park Lawn Wood Funeral Home. They're conveniently located at Hampton Center Parkway and North Armstead Avenue. Nancy Staten is the manager. Their phone number is 827-4670.
5-yard mark off against the Phantoms for illegal procedure.
That'll make it first and 15 for the Phoebus Phantoms.
Going to see 87 is going to go in motion, and I think he can do that.
Yeah, but look at him. He slipped when he tries to stop.
Yeah.
But the man on the end of the line flinched.
Lewis gets the call, and he'll get about 3.
Tim, we will pick a player of the game for both of these teams tonight, and that player will receive a trophy and a shirt. The trophy comes from Trophy World. They're located in Hilton Village and Newport News. For all your recognition and award needs, trophies, plaques, and custom engraving, contact Bob Hilling at Trophy World at 595-7354. You mentioned this announcement, you get special pricing. Bob Hilling, by the way, is uncle to Danny Hilling. There's more Hillings running around here than I know what to do with.
That's right. This is Ward on the option, and Ward picking up nice yardage to the outside, and he will have a first down before he is bulldogged down at the 15-yard line, but another first down for the Phantoms.
Well, he did a good job of following his blockers that time. The T-shirt comes from the Tidewater Team Sports, your one-stop sports headquarters for screen printing, embroidery, uniforms, and apparel. Call 594-0411. Talk to Dave Chubb or Terry McNamara, affectionately called T-Mac.
Here's your replay. This young man is just a freshman.
Look how he set up that block.
He really, these are things that you can't necessarily teach. You just have it or you don't have it, and he seems to have it.
That was Dustin Johnson that was making that the block out there.
Lewis gets away from a tackler, and he will score. So not only does Elana Lewis come back in the ball game, but he scores from 15 yards out to make it a 3-touchdown lead.
You may hit me, but I'm going to carry you in the end zone because he dove that last 2 yards.
19 carries, 103 yards.
19 carries, 103 yards, the last 15 of them for the 3rd touchdown of the ball game for the Phoebus Phantoms. Schwartz will try to make it 21-0. His kick is long enough, and it is good. So we are just about halfway through the third quarter, and the Phantoms have added to their lead on a nice drive concluded by a 15-yard run by Elon Lewis. And
watch this run, Tim. Really, I mean, there's nothing wrong with his knee here. Nice cut there off the left leg that was hurt. And right here, just puts on the speed. And he says, okay, I'm going into the end zone in the last 2 yards.
That's that leg strength you were talking about. Took 2 minutes and 35 seconds, 38 yards after the block punt. 6 plays, capped by the 15-yard rush by Elon Lewis.
Zooms is given an award for the senior player on each of the teams this year who's demonstrated academic excellence. These football players will be awarded plaques at a school board meeting after the season. We'd like to thank David Allen and Zooms for their continuing support of WHCS and our student athletes.
All right, the kickoff taken at the 15-yard line, bobbled for a moment. Now trying to get to the outside is Kelvin Irving, and he will be dogged out of bounds and very close to an area where you could have seen a flag because he was way out of bounds.
Yeah, it's one of those things that he wouldn't have been able to stop if he wanted to, and I don't think there wasn't any maliciousness to that, so that's why we didn't see a flag.
I don't know whether it's something in my headset, but there's a hissing, real loud hissing sound in mine. Is there one in yours too? Sounds
no,
like
that's me.
Sounds like a TV screen that has been left on at midnight, and there's no more show on.
Like a rock. Check your pickups down at the Hampton Chevrolet Jeep Mazda, 1073 West Mercury Boulevard. Give them a call, 838-5450.
That's Scotty with that loud hissing sound engine on the headset. All right, the Warriors with a 1st and 10 from their 28-yard line. McMillan at quarterback, and he is sacked, and there's a fumble. The ball is loose, and the Phantoms have recovered.
Well, the young man started to pick it up, couldn't, but he was real smart and dropping down on it.
Yes. That was it. It's still there. So
and
the fumble.
Number 4, Tim.
It stopped for a moment, but it came back.
Lester James is the one that got that, picked up that fumble.
Here is your play. McMillan faked the handoff and then lost the handle with a little help.
Well, that's 82 making a stop. Friday, right here is
I thought that was
Lester
Corey Hayes.
James.
I thought that was Corey Hayes, number 32.
No, it looks like 82.
Now, see, I can't see these numbers. I'm going to have to get those big bifocals.
You get your eyes fixed.
There, that whatever you did, Scotty, that stopped it.
No, I heard the hiss that time.
And it wasn't any of our fans giving us their opinion, right?
Let's hope not. Thanks, Andy. Appreciate that.
Did we talk about our crew? Because we certainly talk about them a lot. But have we said something nice about them tonight?
Well, we got Nathaniel Braxton and Susan Bowers and Ron Baton on the cameras. And we got another young man on the camera, Scotty. Who's the other young man down there? Steve Fryer is down there with the red shirt on. We're going to have to get him a black shirt. Of course, in the truck we got Don Scharouse that does everything. He's an engineer, but he does just about anything needs to be done. Andy Foley's doing graphic. Mike Nowinski's doing the instant replay tonight. And Scotty, the big man, Beam Me Up Powers, is the director.
D-man of the direction. All
He's
right.
the man.
Phoebus with a great opportunity now. And right up the middle, they'll score easily from the 20-yard line, 19 yards, I guess it was, to be official. Marcus Samuels will score without being touched. So it would appear that maybe the life has been taken out of the Warriors. They've hung tough here. But that fumble and then the recovery, the Phantoms make them pay very quickly.
Well, let me tell you also what happens, Tim, is you get your defense keying on Lewis. And you're not looking at that first man popping through there, and that's exactly what happened at that time. They were looking for Lewis. He just scored a touchdown.
Schwartz's extra point attempt is good. So he had a field goal go wide. He had a field goal attempt blocked, but he's perfect 4 for 4 on extra points. 6 seconds, one play, 19 yards after the McMillan fumble. And the Phantoms make the Warriors pay dearly and now lead 28-0. They led by 14-0 at halftime. If you joined us late, I'm Tim Cole along with Bob Hintz and the Channel 46 crew coming to you from Darling Stadium. This game taped on the 15th of September 2003. I want to remind you we are scheduled Friday night to have a game between these same Phantoms and the Denby Patriots.
That's the 19th.
Weather permitting.
That's to be the 19th if the hurricane cooperates.
And of course you'll want to check to make sure Darling Stadium's still here after Hurricane Isabel. I make light of it, but it could be a serious situation coming up in the next couple of days, so hopefully it won't be. But it could affect this weekend schedule, so check with the school. The Warriors on the kick return. This is Terrence Dorsey, a sophomore, just 5'9", 160-pounder. So the 35-yard line will be the starting point for Kecoughtan, or do they mark it further out to about the 36?
Looks like about the 36. Tim, one of the things that you have to be concerned about with the Phantoms is you got 28 points, and you know you have a tendency to ease up a little bit. But this defense wants the shutout. They would like to score, win the games, and allow the defense no points at all. So there's a little thing going on there with the defense.
Well, it's not a little thing. Bill D has always been a defensive-oriented coach. McMillan airs it out, throws it downfield, and it is completed.
Nice job of adjusting to the ball. Who was that?
That's number 14, Tyree Barnes, a 6'3" senior.
He did a great job, Tim, of turning one way and then turning back and getting the ball. The defender lost the ball.
Yeah. So it's just good blocking by the offensive line for the Warriors, and McMillan airs it out, and then the much taller receiver, Barnes, made the grab. That's just the third first down of the ball game for the Warriors, and it comes more than halfway through the third period. That's how dominating the Phantoms have been. McMillan will try and air it out again. He's got a man open. He's got him open at the 11. That'll be a touchdown.
And
look to see if I don't see any flags.
Kelvin Irving.
So 2 plays, and the Warriors say, no, you did not take the steam out of us. We're not done yet.
He just ran past the defender on that side. The ball was out there, and he just ran underneath it. And as a quarterback, that's what you want to do. You want to get the ball to where your man can catch it in stride.
So Kecoughtan is far from out of this. They do make it a 3-touchdown game. The extra point try is good.
And
by
that's
Nick Silvas.
No, that's Lucas Spencer, isn't it? Number 21?
I looked up and saw 12. I guess Spencer 21?
Yeah.
Lucas Spencer 21. 5'7", 142.
That's okay. You just turned, what do you call that?
Here is the touchdown. 2 passes, and McMillan brings the Warriors back into this one. He got behind the defender and then did a nice job of putting it. Look how he followed the ball into his hands, and then it looked like the Warriors were going to get caught. It looks like he's got the angle on him, but he can't get to him before the touchdown is scored by Kelvin Irving. So just that quickly, just 2 plays, took 41 seconds, and it was a pair of 32-yard passes. And just like that, it's 28-7. Let's see if momentum now will switch over for the Kecoughtan defense as well, as the offense came alive.
I thought I was going to blow my headset off.
Just after I put them in their coffin, they said, we're not dead yet. You didn't take it out of us. We're still playing. Tommy Austin's teams don't quit. They didn't get to 8-2 last year by quitting. This is Ward, and Ward has some running room. Stumbles a bit, and he'll be dragged down, but not until he gets to the 40-yard line.
Tim, he caught that ball, inside the 5.
35-yard return of the kick. And now Ward comes up. Might have a cramp as his left leg is locked up. He's going to try and walk it off. He wants to stay in there. He's waving to the sideline. He says, no, I got to come out. I got a bad cramp in the left leg. So I'm not sure whether Bill D will be able to get a quarterback in time. Now they tell him to stay in there.
No, he went over to get the play, Tim.
Oh, okay. Looked like he could barely walk.
Yeah, he was kind of stiff-legged there, like he had a cramp.
I don't know that we'll see him run this particular time. With one good leg on the play, you might not see the quarterback option. This is the big hitter inside, and the Warrior defense rises to the occasion as Marcus Samuels is stopped at the line of scrimmage for no gain. So, so often the offense will do something and it'll pump everybody up.
Oh, yeah. Tyree Barnes, one of the tacklers in there. There was about 4 Kecoughtan Warriors that time that was in on the stop.
Just to bring you up to date, the young man, as I was mentioning, the one that just carried the ball, Marcus Samuels, has 10 carries for 71 yards in the game. So he's done a nice job of carrying the ball tonight for Bill D. 2nd and 10. Ward gives to Lewis, and Lewis is wrapped up after he gains about 4 yards. Nice open field tackle. That was a body slam. Looked like Maurice Hawkins was in on the stop.
I think that was, I think that might have been Mayo. Right there was Mayo, number 10.
Honestly, Hawkins came in and wrapped up at the end there, but you're absolutely right. It was Mayo with the body slam. So now a timeout has been called. And this one taken by the Phantoms with 4:07 to go in the 3rd period. They lead 28-7. 2 touchdowns from the freshman quarterback Aaron Ward. Elon Lewis from 15 yards. Samuels from 19 yards. And then the Warriors have countered with a 32-yard pass to Kelvin Irving from Shea McMillan. And this is the touchdown pass again. This is a beautiful effort. He had to kind of slow down to come back for it, but otherwise
just a little bit. He didn't break much stride.
No, and he definitely just got in before the Phantom defender could get there, but he had a beat.
Love this.
Isn't it nice? We have a new toy up here in the booth. We have a monitor that is inlaid into the counter, so we don't have to look over our shoulders and have to. For Dave at Dual. What is Dual? Is that the name of a company, Scotty? He does it all. This is Lewis, who has been known to do it all.
And he picked up the first down, Tim.
Got the first down, and Lewis, again, I can't tell you what a miraculous recovery this is on the face of things, because he was helped off the field, and just before halftime, he was literally being carried to the locker room, could not put any weight on that left leg, and now he's out there running and scoring touchdowns. Amazing. I don't know what happened. That must be the shortest Charlie horse in the history of the football. I don't know what it was, but I'd love to find out.
Number 3, Kelvin Irving, who caught that touchdown pass, come limping off on the field on the Kecoughtan side.
After the first down gained by Lewis, Lewis will get the call again, and he will have enough for very close, at least.
Yeah, it is another first down. That's about 18 yards on 2 carries.
Now, Lewis is a workhorse, as you've talked about. He is a hard-working young man. He's in the weight room all the time, has great leg strength. He's not a real big player. He's only 5'10", but he's a solid 205 pounds.
Hey, Ward Gunn is only 5'10". Yep. I mean, there's some great running backs that, you know, just unbelievable. The Cowboys, number 22,
Emmett
Smith, you know, he's under 6 foot.
Lewis, while they're measuring for the first down, we might have been a little premature in that announcement, is sitting and trying to stretch out. So he may have also cramped up, but that just didn't look like
just inches.
22 carries for 124 yards on the night for Elon Lewis. Those stats coming to us from Bob Killen.
Hey, that's against a good defensive team.
Yeah. Bob. Yeah, give me the phone number for Dual. 472-4486. 24-hour service. So he comes out and
It's
cuts a hole in. Do all.
Do all.
As in do all. Quarterback keeper from Ward easily gets the first down.
What's his first name?
Eichen.
Dave.
Eichen.
Eichen?
Eichen. I can do all. Take the hook out of your mouth.
Oh, okay. Well, let that go.
You know, his brother used to get underneath these stands. Seymour?
Okay. I think this is getting close to X-rated here.
All right, first down for the Phantoms. 3:10, the clock moving here in the third quarter. They lead by 3 scores. 28-7 is our score. Ward keeps it. Picks up 4 or maybe 5. Looks like they'll give him about 4 yards on the
That's
play.
what it looks like, yeah.
Again,
and what they're doing right now is they're just drawing that Kecoughtan team in, and then you fake that inside and pop it to the outside or off tackle. Trying to set up something here.
Ball is marked at the 30-yard line of Kecoughtan.
Samuels and Lewis are in the backfield.
Ward gives to Lewis. Lewis stopped initially.
He ran over that tackler.
Yep. Stopped initially at about the 27 or 28, got to the 26 on a good second effort. He's punishing in the way he runs.
I mean, you hit him, but if you hit him at the ankle, up around the thighs or in the midsection, he's going to break it. You got to hit him at the ankles. You got to take his legs out from under him, and you're not going to stop him hitting him in the thighs.
Big third down coming up here. Third down on a long 2 for the Phantoms. Might be in 4-down territory, but this is a big play because the Warriors cannot give up another score. This is Lewis, and Lewis would appear to have enough for a first down.
But you see what he did? He saw the middle was clogged up, so he just veered it off to the right, went over the right guard and tackle. I don't know if we got that on replay or not, but that was a great move because that's not where the ball was intended. The play was intended to go straight ahead.
And, you know, you see a lot of these statistics. Sometimes you think, well, gee, that big 30-yard run or 25-yard run. Some of these 2-yard runs are so important. Just watch the way this develops. Great blocking.
That's where it was intended to go, straight ahead, but he just veered off to the right, found a little crease. That's a good running back, Tim, because he keeps his head up and he's looking for the areas. Oh, we got some Channel 46. Oh, did you get one?
I didn't get one.
Oh, that young lady's got one.
400 people got little
400
footballs.
people got WHCS, Channel 46 footballs.
Had our schedule on there and everything.
All right.
At the Bethel-Hampton game, 400 more little footballs will be given out. First down for the Phantoms. Ball inside the 23-yard line.
I tell you, I'm impressed with Aaron Ward in his faking. Didn't pick up a lot.
One of the Warriors, Jared.
Hey, Jared Mayo's been on he has not been off the field tonight.
No,
offense, defense, special teams.
He was slow to get up that time, but we're happy to say, get up.
Well, it's humid. It's not hot, but it's very, very humid.
Incredibly humid tonight. Good crowd on hand for Monday night. Hope for a full house, but they were a late coming crowd. Look at the far side. When we get a chance, we'll show you the visitor side because it was kind of paltry for a while there. This is Lewis, and Lewis tries the left side, trying to get to the outside, but that Kecoughtan defense is very quick. They do a great job of cutting down the lateral run.
Did pick up, it looks like almost 5 yards on the play, but you're right. A couple of blocks, he might have gone out, but the Warriors do a good job of getting over there.
There's your visitors side, the Phantoms, the visitors for tonight's game. So a good crowd on hand, and they've seen a good contest. It's been,
well, see the Musgroves later.
Would appear to be a blowout.
Rush.
But the third quarter comes to an end, a 3-touchdown difference. The Warriors need a stop here on a third down and a long 2. But the 3 quarters are in the books, and our score after 3 is Phoebus 28 and Kecoughtan 7.
We'd like to thank Park Lawn Wood is.
Yeah, there's one of our little footballs.
There we go. Park Lawn Wood Funeral Home, conveniently located at Hampton Center Parkway and North Armstead Avenue. Their phone number is 827-4670. Nancy Staten is the manager. We'd like to thank them for being one of our corporate sponsors. And, of course, Hampton Chevrolet Jeep Mazda, located at 1073 West Mercury Boulevard at 838-5450. They have pickups, new and used cars. And, of course, Zooms, where you can pick up that Beantown coffee, fried chicken, potato wedges, Krispy Kreme donuts, and Tim loves them at a box and 1. They give him 13 when he shows up. Ham and cheese subs, Coke, and that good Citgo gas. Thank you for our corporate sponsors.
Fans having a good time. Young lady with one of our promotional footballs, and she is having a good time with the band playing. Kecoughtan's great high school marching band performed at halftime.
They are a class on the peninsula.
As are the Phoebus Phantoms, as are the Hampton Grabbers.
If you took those 4, Kecoughtan would probably be at the top, but they're all good. But Kecoughtan has been noted for years as a good program.
And you parents now, that's Bob Hintz.
All I said was what Tim wrote down.
No, you're right. Year in and year out, Kecoughtan really puts on a great show. All right, the Phantoms driving the pile for a first down just shy of the 10, right around the 11-yard line. So that'll be a first down for the Phantoms on the first play starting the 4th quarter. Bob Hintz, I'm Tim Cole. We're here for a 9-game regular season. First game of the season had to be scratched because of some technical issues we had. And hopefully that'll be the only game that'll be scratched. But again, we're scheduled to be here Friday night for Phoebus and Denby. But that will be, quote, weather permitting, end quote. First and 10 from the 11. Loose ball on the ground. The Warriors appear to have recovered it, and they have.
No, they have, yes.
So good heads up, jumping on the ball. I'm going to give credit until I'm corrected to number 14, Tyree Barnes, for recovering that ball. At least he was close to it.
That ball looked like it just never got into Marcus Samuel's hand.
He never had it. He never had it. That ball is there. It's on the ground. There you see it. And
it looks like number 8 coming in there.
Yeah,
number 8 is the one that ended up with it, Tim.
It does look that way.
And that's Carl Craighead.
So give credit to Carl Craighead for the recovery, and that would have been that's a huge recovery, because another score would have really made it near impossible for the Warriors to come back. We've already seen they can throw. Oh, that fumble! McMillan hit from behind. Who's got it? And they say Kecoughtan will keep it. Boy, that was close.
Wow.
So, again, a heart-stopping moment there. If you're a Warrior fan, McMillan standing at his own 5-yard line had it knocked loose.
I'm trying to see who came from that right side of the defense around to hit him. Right here he comes. I can't catch the number.
Oh, but he definitely hit him before he was able to throw it.
Oh, yeah.
But the Warriors are able to keep it. And we have been informed that McMillan has not had a good night rushing the ball, just 3 carries, but minus 16 yards. This is McMillan standing on his own goal line, got a man open, and he's got the ball. Did he hold on to it? No, he couldn't hold on to it. Looked like a good catch.
Really did.
But the ball came loose. Tyree Barnes again.
Came over there, Tim, and helped knock that ball loose.
Tyree Barnes, who caught a big pass earlier to set up the touchdown. This was open, and he had it, but a good hit jarred the ball loose. He had it when he came down.
Yeah.
That ball popped loose, and if you follow the rule that the ground can't cause a fumble, it must be that he never demonstrated possession.
Never had possession.
3rd down and long. 3rd down and about 13. Again, standing at his goal line. Now McMillan will try to run with the ball. He's got some running room.
Nice move that time.
Yeah, he's got the first down all the way out to the 24-yard line. So those minus 16 yards are erased with one very nice scramble. And Shea McMillan gets the first down. Watch this. This is great improvisation.
Well, it just opened up. Nobody's open, but he sees he can pick up the first down.
So they mark it at the 24-yard line. So he wipes out the negative, and now he's +3 on 4 carries. But more importantly, he keeps his team's chances alive. Another loose ball. Loose ball, who's got it? They say Phoebus has it. And coming out of the pile with the ball is number 9, Devonta Lindsay, and it is Phoebus football. So the Phantoms come up with a turnover, and the Warriors just couldn't stand prosperity. They recovered a couple of loose balls, but this time the Phantoms recovered.
Was it number 8? I thought it might have been number 8, Tim.
I haven't gotten the number right all night.
Well, that's number 9, I believe it is, coming right in there.
He's the one that jumped up and brought it out of the crowd.
Well, we'll give it to him.
I don't know for sure, but I do know one thing. Phoebus has the ball again at the Kecoughtan 23. This is Lewis, and Lewis is in the open. He'll score. Elon Lewis.
And that's what, 22 yards?
22 yards to go along with his 15-yarder.
And how many yards do they give him for the night?
Well, we'll get that stat for you in just 1 minute.
24. Number 3 got cream. He just left off the side.
I understand that the quarterback, Ward, was shaken up on the play and kind of limped off the side. 8 seconds, 22 yards. That's the second quick touchdown off of a Kecoughtan turnover, and those will kill you. And the kick is no good as Schwartz lost his footing just as he planted to try the extra point.
And that could be a problem. That could be a real problem.
Well, not too big a problem because Kecoughtan has a comfortable 27-point lead, but here is your touchdown.
Nice blocking at the point of attack. Opened up a nice hole there. Looked like a little trap.
And Lewis with his quickness.
160 yards.
160 yards on the night. How many carries, Bob? 26 carries. Quite a yeoman's job. 26 carries, 160 yards on the night, and 2 touchdowns. So Lewis, as we mentioned, the class of the peninsula, shaken up late in the second quarter, but has come on to show no ill effects here in the second half as he's gotten 2 touchdowns and has a brilliant night going with 160 yards.
Well, I look for the Warriors to put the ball in the air. Right now, they need to score fast, like they did before. 2 plays and just few.
The 2 turnovers and then 1 play after each has resulted in a touchdown.
Yeah.
So it's really hurt them.
Well, it's like they kind of let up.
This is Terrence Dorsey showing no signs of letting up as he returns the kick out to about the 39-yard line. So the Warriors, who have been on the mat and jumped up once already after a quick score, came back and scored a touchdown of their own. Let's see if they can answer this last score by the Phantoms. Here is the return on the ensuing kickoff. It's a nice looking return by Dorsey.
One thing that the Warriors seem to have excelled at is returning kickoff. They've done real well and got good field position just about on every kickoff that they've had to run back. Oh, we got a penalty.
Down, and the ball is loose as well. Let's see, we don't know for sure if the initial indication from the booth here is that it's a clip on Kecoughtan. I don't know that for a fact, but it is Phoebus football according to them. Got a hold against Kecoughtan.
Against the offense,
and that'll be declined because the loose ball is recovered. So another turnover.
And that's how many? 4 on them?
No, that's 3 that I know of for sure because 2 have already resulted in touchdowns. So the 5 fumbles and they've lost 3 officially.
I tell you, our stats are just guys that are right on the ball, aren't they?
Actually, they said it was, they indicated it was a holding call. Bob seemed to think it was a clip.
We just, you know, the ball, it seems a little bit loose there as he's coming through. And there, right there's the flag. It must have been the hold right there.
Now back to the live action.
And that's 15 that time.
Yeah, he's done a lot of good things with the ball tonight. Marcus Samuels, senior. And, boy, I tell you, you know, this is what Bill D has put together in the past. He had a DB running out of the fullback spot to add that extra dimension to the running attack, with Lewis doing a great job of getting to the outside. So now you got this kid, Marcus.
Well, and they've got two kids that play back there, Stephon Moss and Marcus Samuels. Both of them have done well.
That's what I'm saying.
there.
Moss didn't play much since the early going. He was impressive early, but Marcus Samuels has been impressive here in the late going. And now they stack up the run after a very short gain. And that is, again, same number. Not quite as good a result for Marcus Samuels. They mark the ball at the 33-yard line. It'll bring up 2nd down and 9. But more importantly for the Phantoms, the clock is moving. 7:40 remains in the 4th quarter. They lead 34-7, looking to improve on their record for the season, making it 2-0 as the Phantoms look to three-peat. This is Ward on the option, caught from behind, Jared Mayo.
But I know that Ward thought he had a lot more yardage than he ended up with, but Mayo showed a good, some good speed on his side.
Oh, he's been impressive, and you knew he was going to be one of their big guns for this year, and he's not disappointed anyone so far tonight. 3rd down and about 7. See a good look at one of the Warriors on the sideline. Shot from Ron ESPN Baton, who was late getting here. Or let's see, where is this, Ron? Yeah.
Yeah. And that's number, who's that, 57? That's Joshua McCalla.
This is Ward on the fake, and Ward is in the open. He's going to score his 3rd touchdown of the ballgame. Tackled in the end zone. That should be a penalty flag, but I don't see one coming. He was 5 yards into the end zone before he was tackled. So Aaron Ward, just a freshman, has his 3rd touchdown of the night. And now the Phantoms making this game not even look like it was close. Schwartz will try to tack on the extra point. We've got officials stoppage for a moment.
And we have an official timeout on the field.
That last drive, 2 minutes and 36 seconds, 44 yards, 4 plays.
And the call charge of the timeout to the Phantoms.
They might try and go for 2.
I don't know if you go for 2. Why would you want to go for 2?
I can't imagine why. Oh, I know they missed the other extra point, but
I think Bill is talking to him, and I can see him pointing in the end zone saying, listen, he tackled him 5 yards deep in the end zone.
That's what I said.
And that's exactly what you were talking about. And Bill is, you protect your players.
Here's the end of the play. He is in the end zone. He is over the goal line, and he's tackled, 3 to 5 yards into the end zone, but he's clearly in the end zone.
Yeah.
So I don't blame Bill for being hot, because it could have been an injuring play. There was no reason to tackle him in the end zone.
Well, once you cross the end zone, you're going to kind of ease up. So you kind of leave yourself open.
In defense of Kecoughtan, that's the only place they can catch it.
I'm touching that one.
No, we'll leave that one alone. Bob Phoebus Killen had a little different spin on it. So anyway, Bill says, look, I'm leading by 33 points. I've got a timeout or 2 here that I can waste. I'm going to let someone with a striped shirt on know how I feel about it.
Yeah, and I think it's a legitimate point that he's making.
Oh, I agree.
Yeah, because we do everything to be safe for these young men. One of them, you can't run the ball out of the end zone.
Now see, he could have very easily turned an ankle,
right,
pulled a ligament. I mean, there's a number of things that could have happened on that final play.
But you don't think you're going to hit once you as a runner ease up after you cross the end zone. You don't continue to run hard.
But I don't believe there has been any.
Oh, there won't be a penalty now, but I think he's just making a point there.
I'm saying, but there should be. There should have been. Should have been a penalty for unnecessary roughness. And now they have a bad snap, and Schwartz has to double clutch, and then the kick
you can't double clutch and kick a field goal or extra point.
In any event, the Phantoms with a comfortable 40-7 score. I want to commend our engineering group here for the graphics that we've gotten now. This score up in the right-hand corner with the flag down there and the Phoebus this. And I mean, I think it's terrific that we have been able to do some of this because, people have expectations that our technical abilities should be the same as anything they see on television. And, of course, it's very difficult to do that. Let's hear who are those two guys? Don Chiraus, is that one of them? All right. And
Chief Engineer Don Chiraus. And Andy Foley, he's doing all the graphics. So those two guys, hats off.
Absolutely. Yeah, Andy is.
He's a little bit wired anyway, so I understand why he's doing some wiring.
Well, he's a happy camper. His Vikings.
Yes, he is.
His Vikings are 2-0, so he's a happy guy.
Oh boy, is he! And he's got tickets to go up and see one of the games, at least one of the games, if not more. So yeah, he is tickled to death.
But Andy, seriously though.
He told me the Vikings were going to be 14-2.
Okay. But to Don Chiraus and Andy Foley, thank you, gentlemen, for your efforts. It's
outstanding.
It's obvious the effort has been put in, and we appreciate the technology that has been generated by that. Great job, guys. It looks easy.
Can we get them on camera?
No. We can get a picture of those guys. We got a picture of them in the van.
You said no awful quick.
Well, we don't have a camera in there. Maybe we do. We used to be able to get a shot of the van. This is Hawkins, and he is dragged down after getting back to the line of scrimmage.
The next wrinkle.
That'll be the next thing. Andy be working on. They're working on wiring a camera in the van now. We used to have that shot where they all turned around and waved.
Yep, that's true.
You got another player shaking up on this last play. I remember that. I'm not laughing at the situation on the field, that's for certain, as it looks like 77 Cyrus Francis, a little guy at 6'3", 300 pounds, but he is down. Let's just hope that is a cramp, and that they appear to be treating it as that's what it might be. Let's hope so. They're massaging that right calf. A very humid, very moist night.
It is.
Great opportunity for people to get cramped up. Let's just hope that's what it is. You see him lunge for the tackle, and then he did not get up yet, but hopefully he will. So a nice tackle on that play, and that was performed by James Hill, number 8. He's 6'1", 205. He's a senior, James Hill is. So we've got the stoppage with 5:52 remaining in the ball game. Phoebus 40 and Kecoughtan 7. Do you have the schedule that we have for the rest of the season? I know you sent it to me, but I haven't seen it recently. Yeah, every Friday night.
Friday night.
Just be here. Just plan to be here Friday night. After this Friday, the next game will be the 26th, and that one's always a head knocker. That'll be the Hampton Crabbers taking on the Bethel Bruins, an anniversary for you and I. We started doing this mess 23 years ago with that game. Then Hampton plays Kecoughtan on the 3rd of October. Warwick versus Bethel on the 10th of October. Phoebus Hampton, always fun, October 17th. 24th will find Bethel Bruins and these Kecoughtan Warriors. And there you see, I'm real happy to see him being able to walk off under his own steam, Cyrus Francis.
And he's 6'3", 300 pounds, senior.
Halloween will have Menchville here at Darling taking on the Hampton Crabbers, and we close our season, regular season that is, on the 7th of November as the Phoebus Phantoms will be here against the Bethel Bruins. So make your plans Friday night. Come on out to Darling Stadium. I know this game was played on Monday, but that was because of the weather, obviously. But Friday night's great time to come out. It's a great family atmosphere. No problems with security.
Smoke-free.
Smoke-free. The price is right. It's very inexpensive. It's a great family outing. Make plans to take your family to a high school game in the near future. McMillan airs it out. And a lot of contact, but no penalty flag. Looked like they were bumping each other, and I would have been hard-pressed to pick out one over the other.
Calvin wanted to get to where the ball is, and the defender just wouldn't let him get by him, that's not a bad move. I mean, he didn't do anything but just kept his body between the ball and the receiver.
5:38 remaining in the ball game. Only thing really undecided at this point is the final score, because the Phantoms with a comfortable 33-point lead. Out of the shotgun, McMillan feeling some pressure, steps up, got hit as he threw it, and out of bounds. It would not have counted as a grab anyway. And the intended receiver was the 14 Tyree Barnes.
And that
so
was number 8.
Down.
That was number 8 that brought the hit, and that's James Hill. James Hill, 6'1", 180 senior.
There you see McMillan as he's
had a tough night tonight.
comes up. Yeah, he's played hard. There's no question about it. These Warriors don't stop. They were down early, but have never given up in this game. That's the signature of a Tommy Austin team. Fights it to the end. Contact made with a punter. That's going to be a penalty flag.
Yeah, it will be.
Yes. Just a silly penalty. I watched the whole thing. I couldn't believe that's what was doing. And that was, by the way, Nicholas Alejandro, number 17, punting the ball.
That's the young man. I knew he was somewhere up there.
And the Emmy goes to, no, he hit him. That's the whole,
he didn't make contact. There's no doubt about
Watch this. He didn't have to do it. The punter, the ball is away, and the rusher just ran into him.
Look how long it takes him to fall.
Hey, he made contact with him.
That's in slow motion.
That's right. That was slow motion. You don't think Bob has any bias when he does these games, do you?
Yeah, a lot.
Yeah, plenty. Well, Bob, while we have a moment here, I just want to tell you I broke bad this summer and got the satellite dish with the high definition package. Woo. I got ESPN in high definition, Showtime, HBO, and all that stuff. But the big thing is on the Sunday NFL package, they show a minimum of 3 games every Sunday in high definition. And I mean, you can't enjoy it until you see it. So I'm going to have you over.
You got to invite me and my wife.
There you go.
She's the one we got to convince.
There you go. We will do that. We will take care of that. Have you over to the house. And that'll do it. That'll finish you, buddy. You'll be your local retailer. I won't plug anyone in particular, but you'll be there once you see that picture.
Well, now that was a running into the punter, which was only a 5-yarder, so that's why they still had to punt.
All right, so the Phantoms will get it back with the comfortable lead at their 34-yard line. Sunday night game. High definition on ESPN. Monday night game, ABC, the entire Monday night schedule, high definition. You got to get there, Bob. Even if you don't get the dish.
Digital is not what's happening. No. It's HD TV.
Oh,
right?
Yeah, you haven't seen it until you've seen it.
Or as you call it, high def.
High def. You would think I get a bonus for all the things out there.
I don't know. Why don't we call these companies and say, listen, Tim is really pushing you guys. Don't you want to throw a little money his way?
I'm telling you something.
Help pay for this.
Once you see it, you become an advocate. You can't help it but just go off on it. If you're a sports fan and watch a baseball game and you can count the blades of grass, it's so clear. I mean, it's just unbelievable. But anyway, enough about that. Where are we? Are we up there? Yes, there we are. No, that's not us. Where are we?
There we go.
Here we are. Hey. Hey. All right, the Phantoms with the ball, and they stay on the ground. I would be amazed if we see Elan Lewis before next Friday night. And this is a definite disadvantage to these squads should Phoebus have to play this Friday.
That was Whitaker carrying the
Whitaker was the ball carrier.
Yeah. Well, you're right, because this is a very short week.
'27 Jamar Whitaker, and he gets the call again, and he will be out close to a first down.
It's going to be right at it. It's going to be off. It depends on the spot. Right foot, left foot.
27 Jamar Whitaker, the ball carrier.
That's first down.
And he'll pick up the first down for Phoebus as the ball.
Carter Fickman said, I want to go watch the Dallas Cowboys playing the New York Giants.
Well, it's already on.
Who do you like in that game, Mr. Bob Dallas Hintz?
I think I like the tuna.
The tuna.
Yeah, but I think he's a year or two away.
Oh yeah, it's going to take a while. You know, he doesn't make any of the plays. He doesn't run any of the downs, so he can only do so much until he gets his team in there. But I think he'll make a difference. Misdirection play, and the ball is going to be marked across midfield at about the 48-yard line of Kecoughtan.
And who was that ran the ball that time?
Still trying to figure that one out. I think that was our number 15, Marcus Samuels, that got that call.
Was that 15? Yep,
Yep.
sure is.
He's been very effective tonight.
I got players of the game, Tim.
Yes, we do. And our players of the game are for Kecoughtan, Joshua McCalla, number 52, who's played a great game, and Jared
57,
Mayo.
57. Yeah, you can't read my writing.
And Lachey McMillan also had a great evening. And on the Phoebus side, Mr. Lewis.
We got to go with that young man. I mean, he played hurt in the second half, but he didn't look like it.
No, he played well, is what he played. So.
Preliminary indication ball start on the Phantoms. They'll move the ball back 5 yards. 2nd and 7.
Yeah, there's the discussion in our headsets about the impending storm and the fact that they may not be able to play on Friday.
Well, if they close the school, you can't practice when the school's closed.
Right. And you can't have a game when the school's closed. Right at midfield, the Phantoms are stacked up as the clock continues to wind down. We approach the 2-minute mark.
Did you go down and look at the truck and look at the layout that Scotty's got down there? He's still trying to figure out what to do. Maybe that's where that hissing was coming from.
Must have been something in there.
I tell you, we've done some things equipment-wise that you don't see, but it really enhances what you get to see on the finished product.
Warriors trying to prevent the first down, but that looks to be enough for a first down as Marcus Samuels will
he reached for it, didn't he?
just like it was the goal line. He reached across the 45-yard line, and that'll move the chains, and that will do it for all intents and purposes, as Kecoughtan is of no design to stop the clock at this point. They'll stop the clock long enough to move the chains.
During the play,
we have a penalty on the play, so let's not be too hasty. The first down will not be registered.
Well,
they showed it.
They've already moved the chains.
Yeah, they're going to have to unmove the chains. Did you hand this to me for?
That's yours, isn't it?
What? Wasn't mine?
That's not mine. That's yours. Well, take it. You keep it. That ain't his.
Well, nobody wanted it.
You keep it with your stuff.
Here, you all keep it.
You keep it.
I'll keep it. One of us keep it. I don't know who gave it to us.
Did Samuels run that?
Yes.
Yeah.
He's got 90-some yards.
But his run will be negated by the penalty flag, I assume, because they've indicated illegal shift unless it was on the play after the first down. But I didn't think they'd run a play yet.
Yeah, I don't either. But he's got 90-some yards, Bobby said.
Yep.
And what did Lewis end up with, Bobby?
160.
60 yards. Wow.
Carter doesn't know it, but his microphone hasn't worked because he kept forgetting to turn it on.
Third down will be
so he's giving us a long dissertation. But
Mr. Don Lancaster was to turn it on when he went down there, and I don't think it ever got turned on.
I'm not sure what it was, but it was apparently it was a dead ball
Well, where's the
Well, they're still struggling with the chains over there. I'm not sure what in the world they're doing with the chains. They're
okay.
They're showing us the first and.
But if it wouldn't be a first down, what would it be?
I don't know. It shows to be first and about 6. Don't know how you do that. Now they're going to change it as third down.
6. That makes sense.
So the first down was not. It was premature in moving the chains.
Well,
is what it was.
The first down was the 45-yard line.
Yeah, and then now they've moved the chains. Now they're going to move them. Come on, guys. I would like to see the first half, maybe even the second half of the game.
Because he reached across the 45 to get it there.
Well, they haven't got the chains right, Bob, because the first down was at the 45. Now they got the chain set up at the 49. It's a relatively unimportant point. Fumble on the snap from center. And let's see if Kecoughtan got, no, the Phantoms keep possession, but it'll be fourth down and about 7.
Well, we got a new quarterback in there, and that's number 12, Chris Arnold.
So the Phantoms will bring on the kicking team. Play, well, was that fourth down? Now they're saying it was fourth down. And a fumble recovery. So a fumble recovery, I guess. That was not the signal.
I'm not going to touch
the signal was like this, which was for fourth down.
Yeah.
In any event. It is Kecoughtan ball with 1:09 and the clock already moving, which was incorrect because it doesn't start until the snap of the ball on a change of possession. So we're having a real brain lock here all of a sudden with everything. In any event, Kecoughtan record now is 1-1 on this young season, and Phoebus moves to 2-0, winning convincingly for the second week in a row. Young team Bill D has put back on this field, trying to go for 3, and the ball comes loose, and that should be the Phoebus ball, and if that will be your ball game. They'll be able to run out the clock. So I lost track of the number of fumbles, but I think the last I heard that was at least the 6th fumble.
That was Colby Walker, number 25, that came up with the ball.
Ladies and gentlemen, we would like to remind you that Kecoughtan High School's next football game will be this coming Saturday at Todd Stadium.
There's the loose ball.
The Heritage Hurricanes at 7:30.
Did you see 25? Colby just reach out and grab it.
So it was their 6th fumble, 4th that they lost. Turnovers killed the Warriors tonight. And the Phantoms willing to just take a knee and get this one over with, mercifully. Look at this number 77 in your picture there for Kecoughtan, Big Bob. I saw him.
Harrison, 5'10", 356, sophomore.
All right, the gun sounds to end the ball game. And again, our players of the game, Lewis from Phoebus and Joshua McCalla is the player of the game from Kecoughtan. Tonight's contest, final is 40-7. Phoebus victorious, 2nd win in a row.
We are standing by.
Zooms with 14 convenient locations has brought you tonight's game, along with Hampton Chevrolet at 1073 West Mercury Boulevard in Hampton, and in part by Park Lawn Wood Funeral Home, where Nancy Staten is the manager. For Bob Hintz, Bob Killen, Mike Hauser, and the entire Channel 46 crew, this is Tim Cole. Thanks for watching. Good night, everybody.